An armoured personnel carrier's primary design role is to transport infantry across a battlefield in protection against small arms fire and shrapnel. One of its advantages is it's fast, very manoeuvrable. It's a highly mobile, flexible gun platform, and it can get right in close and support the infantry. But it's a bit dodgy in some circumstances because it hasn't got anywhere near the armour protection of Centurion, and hence the high casualty rate. My lead vehicle, George Thompson, he looked back, indicated which way, and I sort of shrugged and thought, well, which way? And he chose to go to the left and ran over a huge mine which turned the vehicle over upside down, backwards. Devastating consequences because it was loaded with infantry. The infantry M60 gunner was trapped under the vehicle by his legs because the engine, the transmission, the differential is full of oil, and of course that's running at very high temperatures. And so if someone gets doused in the oil from the shattered components, then they have very serious burns, and this infantry lad was trapped by his legs, compound fractures, and of course with the oil as well. My driver had not made any sort of appearance out of this machine, and so I got one of the other vehicles and put a steel wire around one of the bases on that side and managed to get the vehicle up to about 45 degrees before the rope snagged on this stump. And I then discovered that the driver was deceased with pretty horrific injuries, and I was pretty determined to get him out. I wanted dignity for him. He's trapped by his right leg, and so I'm up through the same hole as he is dangling from, and a fair bit of bodily fluids involved, and you learn to understand the smells associated with such things, and the hydraulic oil, hot oil. There are many of those smells are with me today. In any case, I worked very hard to try and release him, keeping in mind that if the vehicle's on at 45 degrees going twang, 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 and I had to abandon that effort. The Roman Catholic padre who was travelling with the infantry, he came along and said, "Would you like me to perform the last rites on your soldier?" And I said, "Certainly." And so there we are on the battlefield, and out of his haversack produced his priest's gear and dressed himself and blessed the deceased. That was particularly nasty and has been with me for all of my life. People's humanity is very important. If you're going to come out the other side reasonably well, the humanity gets put in a closet for a few years, and then years later, if your humanity survives, then it will come out and it will reassert itself. And that's what happens for a lot of veterans.